Josh and Swain, thank you for being with us today. We are very excited to be with you for the next 3 hours. We have Tennessee and SEC football to talk about today. Tennessee practiced again today. Full pads, getting closer. The scrimmage is right around the corner, and the season opener is now 24 days away for the Tennessee Volunteers getting ready for Syracuse in Atlanta on August 30th. We will talk to you this afternoon. We will invite you to join us by calling or texting at 865-656-9900. Share your thoughts, any questions you might have, as Tennessee is a week into fall camp. Again, getting ready for the start of the 2025 season, and they've taken a next step in the camp process to get ready with full pads going on. 865-656-9900 if you would like to be a part of the show. You can call or text, as Jason Swain is here, VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver. Swain, good afternoon. How are you?
What's up? What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to be with you today. Another day closer to the start of football season. Full pads today, as you mentioned. So that means it's time for real football. A couple days before the first scrimmage, and football is a game played in pads. Football is a contact sport. Football is physical, where there is a 12 to 16 car pile up every single play. And to prepare for that, you have to duplicate that the best way that you can inside of practice without hurting each other. So that's a challenge in itself for football teams around the country at all levels, little league, middle school, high school, and college. And so let's get it on, man. Let's get it on. There's guys a little banged up, guys who are not. I'm sure there's players on this football team that's very, very sore, pushing through after a full week of fall camp. But, man, this is where champions and warriors are made.
So we're getting a little more excited?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Get excited. We woke up today. That's a reason to be excited, but it's another day closer.
Don't give Mike McDaniel's answer of why you'd be excited, but
yeah, I saw his answer. I don't know how that's going to work inside the locker room, but yeah, man, it's another day closer to the start of fall camp. I can't wait to go 1-0, or the start of the football season. I can't wait to go 1-0.
That is the plan. 1-0 after August 30th. Boo Carter continues to practice with the Tennessee football team, so progress continues there with Tennessee's talented sophomore DB.
Well, according to you, Josh, 1-0 is like 2-0.
I do have an equation that turns 1-0 into 2-0 rather quickly. Yes. That equation is, with all due respect, the
Can't do that, Josh.
ETSU week 2 opponent.
You can't say 1-0 is 2-0 and then say with all due respect. There's nothing respectful with what you said.
Okay.
Like you can
no
put lipstick on
but.
it. You can put lipstick on the pig a little bit, man. Mascara, put some eyelashes on it, some blush. Like you can do that at least, Josh, by saying, ETSU is going to come in here. It's going to be a real football game. But I just think Tennessee's going to win the game. That's how you show respect to ETSU. You don't say 1-0 is basically 2-0. It doesn't work that way, Josh. You're being disrespectful.
You are correct in that wouldn't be classified in the respectful category.
I need to explore different company because you're rubbing off on me. Your disrespectful ways is rubbing off on me, Josh.
Wait, do you have that reversed?
No, this is not Uno. This is not Uno, Josh.
Okay. I mean, no disrespect. I just might have failed in what I meant to do.
Okay, came up a little bit short, huh?
Yeah, but hey, that happens from time to time too.
Yeah, time to time. Yeah.
Yep. Every day, you might say. So who's rubbing off on whom in this show? We'll figure that out. We'll talk Tennessee football, getting ready for Syracuse and the SEC season. Are you watching any of any given Saturday? If not, that's okay. It just launched, I guess, yesterday, right on Netflix.
Not yet. Did not watch it just yet, but I did see some comments from Diego Pavia.
Yeah, how about that?
He needs to be drug tested.
Well,
I think he's using. I think he's using Josh.
look, Diego he's a confident young man. He's outspoken.
Yeah. I think something is wrong there. Because like I've been in a few fights in my life. I mean, hey, boys fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've lost some. I've won some. Make no bones about it. Like, let's not get confused here. When you lose a fight, you know you lost the fight. I'm not talking about a boxing match. I'm talking about a fight. When you're in a fight, you know you lost the fight. Now, one time when I lost a fight, did I think I won the fight? Or I should be talking more, welcoming another beatdown, another loss. If you beat me up one time, I don't want to fight you again. Clearly, I lost for a reason. I don't want to go through that experience again. I'm good. I made a mistake. I thought I could take you. I can't. I'm moving on. I think Diego Pavia forgot what happened in Nashville. Now, before I go further, I think it's people that may not even know what Diego Pavia said. It's worse than what he said a couple weeks ago. It's worse, Josh. I think he totally forgot what happened in Nashville only a couple months ago. Like, it wasn't even a year ago. It hasn't been a full calendar year. And Diego Pavia has Tennessee all in his mouth in the most disrespectful way possible. Appreciate Adam Sparks for being great at his job. So on the Netflix series, Diego Pavia says, we can beat Tennessee literally any given Saturday. They think they're going to destroy us. Blank every single one of them dudes, you know. We're going to win this game at all costs. This is why I said he needs to be tested. This is why I said he's using. Because he says we can beat Tennessee literally any given Saturday. There you go. You lost to Tennessee the last Saturday you played Tennessee.
Yeah. Now, just to be clear, these comments were made before last year's game, correct? Because the series is covering last year. So I haven't seen this. I've only seen part of episode 1, so I'm about halfway through that one. I've not taken a dive all the way through, but so I've read the stories about what he said. But I believe those were comments before the game was played in team meeting before last year's game, which we know the result of that. So he was proven wrong. But these are not recent comments. These are from last fall.
Then he comes out and said what he said a couple weeks ago.
Right.
He continues to talk about Tennessee in a way that makes it seem like he is successful against Tennessee. He is going to beat Tennessee.
Yeah, it is fair to say that he declined the humble pie when that was offered to him for dessert.
When I first saw these comments that obviously was said before play Tennessee, I wasn't even mad. I was laughing. I was like, man, we need this in the SEC. We need a Marshall Henderson. It's been so long since we've had a Marshall Henderson. You remember the guard from Ole Miss?
Oh, I remember Marshall Henderson.
And that was fun.
Very fun.
This is the closest thing to Marshall Henderson since we've had since Marshall Henderson. This is what we need. Like Lane being Lane. up until this point, which we haven't heard much from Lane. What's Lane doing? We haven't heard anything from Lane. But the way Lane is, Kiffin, it's fun for the SEC. Like, it's entertaining. We need characters in this conference. Diego Pavia is a character. He's a character that we need. He is entertaining. So I wasn't even mad, Josh. I was kind of laughing.
Yeah, Lane's most recent, he's probably less involved in social media because they're in the middle of camp right now. But Lane's most recent tweet was 2 days ago. It was actually a quote tweet, and it was him offering good luck to Derek Dooley in his run for U.S. Senate in the state of Georgia. I'm not mistaken, Derek Dooley replaced Lane Kiffin after the 2009 season when Lane left Knoxville to go to USC. I think I have my timeline correct there.
You do.
So Lane's most recent post on social media is offering best of luck to a fellow former Tennessee football coach in his future endeavors. But I'm with you on Diego. The personality, that's not exactly the personality I align with. But for the league, I think it is good. Vanderbilt has rarely brought spice. There is spice with Diego Pavia.
It's great, man. Blank those dudes. We're going to win this game at all costs. 7 completions in the football game. Opening kickoff, return for a touchdown. Turnover by Nico. Set up Vanderbilt to go up 14-0. Still lost the game. Oh, man.
Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt Commodores. There will be receipts brought back up, not just by Tennessee, by several this upcoming season. Tennessee waiting there at the end of the 2025 season. Tennessee will begin with Syracuse. We will talk Diego Pavia. We'll talk Tennessee. I've got something that might get you to roll your eyes at me, Jason Swain. We'll bring that up as it relates to Tennessee's schedule this upcoming year. And we invite you to be with us along the way. You can join us by calling or texting at 865-656-9900. We'll talk more Tennessee football when we come back right here on Josh and Swain. Junk Beyond, East Tennessee's junk removal specialist. Thank you for being with us as we continue on this Wednesday afternoon. Tennessee practicing earlier today, 865-656-9900. If you would like to join us. As Swain said last segment, Diego Pavia makes things more interesting. Messages coming in about Diego Pavia. Jesse says he is his ego is writing checks. His body won't be able to cash. Michael says Pavia is a 30-year-old, eighth-year senior. He should use better judgment at his age. Swain, I did have a thought similar to Nathan, somewhat to Michael's point. Nathan said, remember, no Diego, no Nico Replaso. Tennessee does have Diego Pavia to thank for Miles Kitzelman and Joey Aguilar being on the roster because they got extra years of eligibility following Pavia's lawsuit trying to get back extra eligibility from his JUCO years.
So, what he said was still silly. It's still silly. It's funny. Like I said before, I'm not upset. I think it's funny. I think it's funny that a player of Vanderbilt could be this delusional. And, seeing those comments that were said before the game, and then seeing how he played the game, because I said before 7 completions, I was wrong. It was 8. It was 8 completions. Sorry, 8 completions and 10 drives in the whole entire game against Tennessee. So for him to say what he said in the Netflix series before the game, and then have the audacity to talk about Tennessee after the game with busting with the boys, it proves that either he is very, very, very confident or he's delusional. And I think it might be a little bit of both. I don't think it's entertaining. I think it really is.
Yeah, as much fun as the sport is, the sport doesn't carry a ton of personality, if we're being honest.
No, because all the coaches in the league are mostly boring in front of a microphone. And they don't say anything, and they don't share their real personality.
Yeah, like I appreciate Dabo being who he is. I don't think the same things as Dabo on a regular basis necessarily, but Dabo is different, and Dabo is not afraid to share his thoughts and opinions, often unfiltered.
Yeah. So that's why I appreciate Diego's comments. I do, because he has a coach that lets him say these things, has not put a muzzle on him, where in past experiences we've seen coaches tell their players to be quiet. We've seen SIDs try to muzzle players and not want them to talk and put bulletin board material on the walls of their opponents' locker rooms. And so either Clark Lee is okay with it or he just can't control them, because without Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt wouldn't be in the position that they're in, because they were even less desirable than they are right now. And that's saying something. So, yeah, like, I'm not upset that he said that. And I wish he talks more. Like, Bring it on, man.
Dell and David both said Diego Pavia is confidently delusional.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, Donovan sent this in as we do shift back to Tennessee a little bit. The Vols practice earlier today. Donovan said, hey, Swain, get ready to suit up because if our receivers keep getting injured, we will need you. I think you could still go for 100 and a touchdown.
Well, that won't be happening.
Tennessee is yet to have everybody available at practice at wide receivers. Chris Brazel has been working his way back. Mike Matthews missed a practice a couple of days ago. He has been, I believe, in a non-contact jersey the last couple of days. And then Braylon Staley has, at least when the media's been watching, not practiced with the team the last 2 days.
Yeah. And hopefully he's ready to go for the scrimmage.
And those three guys are the projected starters, correct? Brazel, Matthews, and Staley.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, last year you had receivers that were not healthy in fall camp. You did not get that time to spend with each other, to build the chemistry, to build the timing. And you had a quarterback that was entering his second season on campus. And you saw how the passing offense was last year. Now you're inserting a quarterback that got here in May, and it looks like you're doing the same thing with the receivers. Not saying that it's necessarily the receiver's fault that they got hurt, but something needs to be looked at with why they're getting hurt, how they're getting hurt, how they're unavailable this portion of the season, because you need them to be more healthy so that way they can work on these things. And so I remember when there's been times in the last 20 years where you've had guys hurt more often than other times. And it was worth looking into and wondering, what can we do to prevent that? Is it the way we train? Is it other things that we need to look at? You can't just chalk it up to, oh, it's just bad luck. Oh, it's just bad luck. Well, Syracuse doesn't care. Georgia doesn't care. No offense to ETSU, but like Alabama doesn't care. Florida doesn't care that you got bad luck, because Florida has a quarterback right now that is dealing with bad luck, DJ Lagway. And I can promise you right now, when Tennessee goes down to Florida, if we had our choice to go against Florida with Lagway or without Lagway, we probably would want to play Florida without Lagway. And so, yeah, you take advantage of those opportunities when they're presented to you, just like when we played against Oklahoma and all those receivers were out. They had all these injuries, and we took advantage of that. And so you can't just chalk it up to luck. It doesn't matter. You either win the game or you lose the game. So what my point is, if you're continuing to have receivers banged up and hurt and unavailable during the most crucial time of your season, then maybe it's an adjustment that you may look at doing. Or maybe it's just bad luck. But the fact is, they're unavailable. And you have new guys in new positions that need the reps because they don't have any experience.
You think you could go for 100 and a touchdown?
No. Not at all.
Maybe not today, but if you start up in camp tomorrow, go through the acclimation period for a few days, and then...
Few days?
It's all muscle memory, Swain.
Dude, I would have to go on the Biggest Loser like Anton Davis to even get back to that point by the time we play Syracuse first. Just to even be able to play one play. So better be on the goal line.
Okay. Hey, I'm good with that too. You can be versatile. So Princeton Fant role, we wondered who might take it on. The answer might be
Josh, this is why you recruit. This is why you build depth. So you don't have to rely on a washed up 41-year-old receiver that looks like he can play on the offensive line.
This is why you bring in Ethan Davis and develop him. This is why you tell Jason Brame, hey, get to work, buddy, because you might have an opportunity as a true freshman.
Yeah. So.
And by the way, those guys should be thinking, hey, there might be an opportunity here. Amari Jefferson needs to have made the most of the last couple of days with Braylon Staley not out there as examples.
Hey, whatever it is, man, you got to find a way. You got to find a way to make sure guys are producing. And so I was always asked, and anytime a player gets hurt, They're asked this sometimes. Are you hurt or are you injured? There's two different things. Because I can promise you, half of the football team is hurt.
In 24 days, Tennessee's football team will be Atlanta taking on Syracuse. Aaron Hayden days away from Tennessee kicking off the season. We'll continue the conversation. 865-656-9900 right here on Josh and Swain. This is Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us. We'll talk to Braden Gall from 440 Sports coming up at about 12:45. We'll talk some Tennessee football, little hoops this afternoon. We'll talk to you at 865-656-9900. Corey in the YouTube chat said, I'm not sold on Joey being the starter. My money is on Merklinger. We had a text, I think, yesterday during the show saying, hey, I think it could be Merklinger that ends up being the guy. The quarterback battle continues, Swain. We'll see what happens or hear what happens Saturday with the scrimmage, which should play a big role in what happens. But the quarterback battle continues as some calls for Jake Merklinger continue as well.
Man, I hope that guy just go ahead and give me his money then. So, throwing it away. If he's putting his money on a redshirt freshman quarterback that did not take the job during the spring, that should be in the lead, should have the advantage. But man, the buzz has been about Diego Pavia. It's not something that's media created either. I think it's the reason why Diego is here, and there's an opportunity for him.
Joey Aguilar,
excuse me, to be here and be the starting quarterback. But yeah, Merklinger should, like, those folks who are like, yeah, reading the tea leaves. Hey man, this guy knows the offense. He's been here longer. Like, he should be in the lead. He should be out in front. He should have the advantage to be the starting quarterback. But I just don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about what Merklinger has done. I've not heard anything that says he's going to be the guy.
Yeah. I mean, I would need a little bit more information, proof, before saying I'm putting my money on Merklinger. Don't waste that money, man, and give it to me. Give it to Josh. Give it to the Josh and Swain fund. I would need to know a little bit more, do a little bit more research before I throw my money on Merklinger. I mean, the guy with the experience, the guy that was set to be the starting quarterback at UCLA. Because think about it. Would any of these quarterbacks who are battling against Joey Aguilar, would they be the starting quarterback at UCLA right now? Like, without Nico being there, I don't know. And so, to me, it just feels like this thing is set up for Aguilar to win, unless he just totally bombs.
Yeah, is Aguilar going to start and be the guy absolutely all season long? I don't know that. I would bet right now on Aguilar. If you said, hey, you have to place a bet on August 30th, I would bet on Joey Aguilar. But how things will play out over the course of the season, that I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do believe there'll be more than...
in mid-October could be different than August 30th. But right now, trying to get things figured out for the Syracuse game.
I mean, if I had to put my money on both quarterbacks playing and starting a game during the season, I would do that, just because of recent history of a quarterback battle going into a season. Recent history has told us that both guys have gotten starts during the same season. So I would be comfortable putting my money on that. But I would not be comfortable putting my money on Joey Merklinger being the starter today. Like, I would think Merklinger would need to have a undoubted performance that was better than Aguilar in the first scrimmage before I would say that. And that's Saturday, so too early to say.
Yep. We got a text from Sam that said Merklinger might look good with no defense. The real test is who can hit passes, read defenses, make plays when everything's going fast.
Yeah, the reason why experiences is in the favor of Aguilar is because of the eternal clock. Young players do not understand the internal clock like older players. What that means is, from the snap of the football to the moment you need to throw the football, there's a clock inside your head. And it's about 2.5 to 3 seconds. 2001, 2002, 2000 ball. Like, you need to be coming out. You need to be ready to throw it because the pursuit from your defensive lineman in this league is unlike any other. The edge rushers in this league is like any other. And so you can't be sitting there counting the laces on the football. You can't be sitting there going through your progressions twice. Like, it doesn't happen. 2001, 2002, 2003, ball. Like, it needs to come out right then. And young players think they have more time than they do. And Nico's first start, you saw that at Oklahoma. You got to get rid of that thing. You got to make a decision. So that's why a guy like Aguilar will get the edge because of experience. So Merklinger will have to do some other things to counter his lack of experience in that scrimmage coming up Saturday.
He's Jason Swain. I'm Josh Ward. Coming up next, Braden Gall, 440 Sports. We'll talk some college football with him. What stands out about camp conversations about a weekend, getting ready for the start of the college football season. That's next right here on Josh and Swain. former Tennessee wide receiver. I'm Josh Ward, and we are excited to go to the Stanley Fencing and Gates hotline to say hello to Braden Gall with 440 Sports, Athlon Sports as well. Braden, thank you for the time as always. We're about a little more than a week into college camps, and Swain and I have talked about a lot of times they'll try to stay tight-lipped as much as they can with what we hear from coaches, players as well. But does anything stand out either in what you hear from camps or conversation that has generated here in the first week or so of college camps opening up?
Oh man, it's funny. We were just on the sidelines at Titans camp, and I'm pretty sure Penn State, Baylor, Georgia Tech, Tennessee. I'm sure I'm forgetting some folks. Delaware. There's a coaching, assistant coaching, I think, gathering in Nashville this week, and they were all out there. So I don't know how they're doing. I don't know how they're studying their own players currently if they're all in Nashville for a couple of days. Look, I think it's hard to, like, even when you're at an NFL camp and you can see everything, it's hard to know what you're seeing. I think when you talk about freshmen, newcomers, even portal players to some degree, I think if you watch a few practices, you can probably pick up on a guy who is running with the ones, who physically looks ready to go, either as a young player or a new player. You can pick that stuff up. But honestly, like, we watch Cam Ward struggle every day in practice, and we can all see it with our own eyes. But you have to understand what the strategy was going into that practice, what was the plan, what was the defense intending to do, what was the offensive coordinator trying to make Cam Ward learn, for example. So, like, my point is, you just don't always, even if you're watching it, and I will complain about the SEC and the coaches thinking that, like, they're protecting some, like, nuclear codes or something without letting people watch practice, because they're not. But it's, even when you are, it still requires a ton of context. So, I've chatted with a few, let's just say, assistant coaches around the country in the last couple of weeks, and almost all of them are still like, I don't even know what we've got in that guy. Like, it's just, people just don't know what their rosters are. They think they know. They think they have a scouting report. They think they've gotten to know a player's strengths and weaknesses and how they'll fit into a system. But when it comes to the portal, if you look at not even just the SEC, but across college football, you start breaking, I would say like 70% of the teams, one of the biggest pieces of analysis you have is like, well, they portaled this entire position group and we're not really sure what that's going to look like. And I don't think the coaches are all that far behind, that they're doing some guesswork on what those players are going to look like getting into an actual game.
Hey, Braden, we've talked a lot of SEC with you over the last few weeks, last few months, probably at this point. Around the nation, one team that's been brought up to this week, the coaches poll came out on Monday, Penn State. They have Drew Aller back at quarterback. James Franklin has been there a while now. They went to the playoff. What do you make of Penn State, a preseason top 5 team heading into this season?
I mean, this is going to sound extremely negative. It's not. I think if James Franklin, didn't have some of the questions that we have in terms of his end game management or development of offensive weapons outside of a quarterback or, any of those things, like, Penn State on paper probably should be number 1. Like, they have All-Americans on defense. They've got first-round draft picks at pass rusher, at running back, potentially at quarterback. Their offensive line is one of the better ones in the country. They've spent a huge amount of money on their 2 coordinators. They've got tons of experience coming back, and they've paid to retain their players the way Michigan and Ohio State have the last 2 years. But I just think it's like the reason I won't pick Miami in the ACC. Miami has a ton of talent. There's no reason why they couldn't be the best team in the league, but, like, I'm not sure I trust Mario Cristobal not to screw one game up. Franklin's not that, but he hasn't beaten the big teams, and for them to be number 1 and to win a national championship, they're probably going to have to win 3 or 4 or 5 of those games that they frankly just haven't won yet. And so it doesn't mean they're not going to do it. It doesn't mean they don't deserve to be number 1. Again, on paper, I think you can make the case that I think Penn State, Clemson, and Texas are the 3 best teams on paper going into the season right now, and that's where. Last I checked, that's where, like, coaches' polls are filled out, I guess, in today's version of paper. And so, it's one of those where it's like, we'll see together. Like, when they play big games in the Big Ten, which there's only 2 or 3 of them. And here's the other thing, you didn't ask me about this, but I'm going to give you to you. This non-conference, conference, Big Ten SEC garbage, Penn State will not play a power conference team in non-conference. Ohio State, who won the national championship last year, did not play a power conference team in non-conference. Michigan, the year before, did not play a power conference team in non-conference. So this whole, like, we've challenged ourselves and we play 9 games and blah, 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 it's a bunch of garbage. There are some teams that have harder 9-game schedules than the SEC's 8, and there are tons of SEC teams that have harder 8-game schedules. So just like always in college football, it's case-by-case basis. And Penn State is the favorite this year. Ohio State was the favorite last year. Michigan the favorite the year before that. Not one of those teams has played a meaningful non-conference game in any of those 3 seasons.
Before Clemson broke through, everyone made fun of them for losing the big game and called it Clemsoning. I guess with your feeling about Miami, I guess right now it can be called hurricaning or Miami-ing or whatever, because they have the talent. They went out, they got Cam Ward, and then they reloaded with Carson Beck. Is it going to take for you to see them actually do it this year, or do you feel like they could break through and get to the college football playoff?
Crystal balling, let's call it that. I think I think that's the one you were looking for there, Jay.
Crystal balling.
No, I don't think that, like, so they're really good. They're probably the most talented team not named Clemson. If Clemson was not so clearly, like, so good across the board, like they have All-Americans at linebacker, All-Americans at defensive line, All-Americans in the secondary, All-Americans at receiver. They have an All-American quarterback, first-round picks everywhere. Like, Clemson looks like, I mean, they might actually be the most complete team in college football. So I wouldn't pick Miami, even if, you know, I don't know, like, pick if Nick Saban's down there coaching, maybe I pick them. But, like, outside of that, I think Clemson is still clearly the favorite in the ACC. But to your point, I really like Georgia Tech. I really like Louisville. I would have them probably in the same boat as Miami at top 3 or 4 in the conference, challenging for a spot in the title game. And I'm much more likely to pick Georgia Tech or Louisville because I trust the coaching staff so much more. The talent for Miami is better. Like, Miami has better players than Georgia Tech and Louisville, but I'm tempted to pick both. Georgia Tech beat them last year. And the other thing is, like, if Cam Ward was still there, I probably would feel differently about this. Like Carson Beck, our anonymous scouting report, like, I don't think people know what Carson Beck is. The injury is a huge question. It seems like he's going to be fine. He had an extraordinary season, you know, when he had Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers, and then, you know, the schedule got harder. The offensive wasn't as good, and the receivers weren't as good, and he made more mistakes. So what is he? Is he worth the money? I don't think we know, and that's not coming from me. That's coming from, like, opposing coaches in the SEC and ACC that are like, we're not really sure if he's worth it. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. So I don't know. I think the offensive line's going to be really good. They got to replace their top 5 receivers. They got to replace their starting running back, Cam Ward, et cetera. Like, defensively, they should be even better. But again, they just kind of, they lost to Georgia Tech in insane fashion the year before because the coach screwed something up. They lost to Georgia Tech last year. A terrible coaching decision in the fourth quarter kind of cost them the game potentially against Syracuse last year. I just don't trust them to finish the deal. I trust James Franklin at Penn State a little bit more, but I think we've seen enough moments where Penn State doesn't know what to do in the final 2 minutes, and I think a lot of that comes from the sidelines.
Hey, Braden, we're up against the clock. Give us your number one plug right now for people to check out at 440 Sports.
Just all your football needs in the state of Tennessee, whether it's college football, SEC football live, Tennessee Titans. We've got all kinds of shows for you. A football show kind of puts them all together Mondays and Thursdays. So check us out, 440 Sports YouTube page and podcast app of choice.
Yep, Titans fans, if you're gearing up for Cam Ward in the start of the season there with the number 1 overall pick, they're covering that for you too. 440 Sports, go check it out. Hey, Braden, thanks for the time as always. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Braden Gall joining us. We'll come back. We have 2 hours to go. We'll begin hour number 2 talking to our friend Mark Pankratz about a great opportunity for you to check out. We'll talk some hoops with Mark as well coming up right here on Josh and Swain. alongside Jason Swain, VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver. I'm Josh Ward. We have 2 hours to go on the show. We'll talk more Tennessee football as the Volunteers practice again this morning. They put full pads on, getting ready for a big scrimmage this upcoming weekend with 24 days to go until the start of the college football season, August 30th. Tennessee will play against Syracuse in Atlanta. We are excited to begin this hour going to the Stanley Fencing and Gates Hotline. We say hello to our friend Mark Pankratz, former staff member with University of Tennessee basketball with Axiom Wealth Management. Mark, do you have more than 24 hours in your day? I don't know how you do it. You have your day job with Axiom Wealth Management, what you're doing every day. You're coaching basketball still, and then you continue to put on these events for the people here in Knoxville and East Tennessee with the latest, the webinar that's taking place next week.
Yeah, God gave me a lot of energy. You didn't give me more time in the time of the day, but yeah, super excited about this event that we're putting on here, August 14th, for parents around youth sports. I mean, I think we all know so many parents of youth athletes, and we all know that we all want to get it right in the way that we, parent our kids and help them through this athletic journey. And it's just so hard, and we hear so many different ways, and we're pulled in different directions. And so I feel it myself as a parent of 3 girls, and so trying to put together an event that's going to be really impactful to try to help parents with all the questions that they wrestle with.
Yeah, there's no playbook, there's no manual when you have a kid, and then when they get to sports and when they're navigating, emotions and trying to deal with competition and playing time and disappointment. What has changed in your opinion over the last 5 or 10 years with youth sports and how parents are dealing with it from what you've seen?
Well, I think the business that you've seen it trickle down from pros to college to now even the youth side, the expectations of it being a year-round deal, and if you're not training, you're falling behind, and the expectations to be doing extra. I think the pressures of the monetary side, and I think social media is a big thing. I mean, it's just, and that's why I want to bring guys like C.J. Watson and Lance Cormier. Both those guys had many years playing professionally, but they've been able to navigate their own kids. Ayanna and CJ's daughters on the USA volleyball team, going to Pitt, #1 program in the country at a time last year, and then Lance's son's going to play baseball at Auburn. And so these guys have done it, and they've parented through it. But social media with the comparison, and you see, well, man, my Johnny was going to take the day off, but, look at that kid. They're training over there, and they're doing this, and, man, like, that kid's falling behind. So I think the evolution of social media has driven a lot of the anxiety and the stress and the pressure that we see now at youth sports at such a young age.
Mark Pankratz with us. We'll get you the information. It's a free webinar, so parents, info you want and see how you can learn and hear from the different perspectives. Mark Pankratz has been a coach now for years at the youth level with his background playing at the Division I level, coaching at the University of Tennessee. Is there a consistent message you try to get across to the youth teams that you've coached over the years, Mark? Is there a consistent message you deliver to them?
Well, yes, and it's always that your identity is not in the performance. It's not in the outcome. You're far beyond whatever sport it is. You're far beyond the basketball player, the volleyball player, the baseball player. It's about the person that you are, the effort that you give. And we talk about 3 E's every day, the 3 E's that you can control: your effort, your enthusiasm, and your execution. You can't control whether the ball goes in the hoop. And so we talk a lot about that. And the thing about this is it's about parents. You think about parents, the challenge of how hard do you push versus how hard do you love, or what do you say or not say when you get into the car after a game, like Swain talked about. Like every kid is different, but what are the questions that you're asking or you're not asking when you get into the car after a poor performance by your kid? And those are the type of things that I could say it, but my kids are 14, 11, and 9. And when you're coaching an SEC athlete like I did at University of Tennessee, that's different when you're coaching a 10-year-old baseball guy, And so that's why I wanted to bring in different perspectives. But in talking to these guys and being around it, I think there's some consistent messaging that regardless of what sport that you play and regardless of what level, there's things that we can learn as parents that not only will empower our kids to maybe be better athletes, but I know that they'll enjoy the athletic journey more. And I think it'll actually alleviate some of the stress and the anxiety and the pressure that we feel as parents trying to figure out, all right, are we doing too much for our kid or are we not doing enough? And those are the type of things that we want to have conversation around with this free webinar on the 14th.
Yeah, because there's a balance in that. Do you want to prepare the road for the kid, or you want to prepare your kid for the road? I mean, you don't want to do it for them, but at the same time, you want to give them the tools to be successful because you have a level of expertise. And so, yes, it's definitely a balancing act. And I would encourage parents to definitely tap in and attend, man, because I'm sure there's going to be a ton of golden nuggets that people can take away from it.
Yeah, and I know it's during the workday, and so we've set it up to where even if people can't tune in live, like there'll be an hour long where those guys will be sharing. John O'Sullivan, CEO of Change the Game Project, he's written books on youth sports parenting, and so they'll be sharing nuggets like you talked about. But then there'll also be a Q&A session in it where you'll be able to ask live questions. But because it's during the middle of the workday, if people, as long as they register, we'll email you the recording of it. There's no catch. I mean, it is truly a free webinar, just trying to make impact and something that, although I coached and although I played, I struggle with and trying to figure it out. So I'll be sitting there, although I'll be, kind of emceeing the webinar, I'll be sitting there taking down notes and learning as well. And my prayer is that it just makes an impact in as many parents as possible. So that way our kids can be better from it as well.
So this is next Thursday. It's August 14th, next Thursday. It's a free webinar. What are the details people need to know about getting registered and being able to see it?
Yeah, just go to KnoxvilleSummit.com. It's really easy to register. You register, and then it shoots you a calendar invite with a link that you just tune in at 10 a.m. Next Thursday. But KnoxvilleSummit.com. You'll see it right there, right when you tune into the website. And again, even if you can't make it live, as long as you register, we'll shoot you the recording of it for you to watch it to your free convenience.
KnoxvilleSummit.com is the website. Next Thursday, free to sign up, and make sure you sign up, get registered, and then live or recorded, you can take advantage. By the way, Mark, we have you on today. That happens to be the day that the SEC put out the basketball schedule for the upcoming year within the conference. Tennessee at Arkansas, January 3rd. So it's Rick Barnes against John Calipari again, this time in Fayetteville to open up SEC play. By the way, I looked through the schedule. It's like football, but then some. There are no off games in SEC hoops anymore. So at Arkansas, Texas, at Florida, which won the national championship, Texas A&M, and then Kentucky at Alabama. Those are your first 6 games in SEC play.
It's loaded. I mean, everyone's talking about how you think Tennessee's going to be, and it's just so hard to tell. I mean, I heard you guys talking about the football roster. I mean, guys trying to figure out what do they have because they just don't know yet because there's so much new talent on each roster. I think coaches are living that on the basketball side. Obviously, they got a little bit more time, but they're going to be figuring out. And then the biggest part about this day and age is it's no longer necessarily about just having the players and the X's and O's. I think the coaches in this era that can get these talented guys that are also getting paid, some of them getting paid more than the staff members, how do you get them to buy into the vision for a 6-month period to go have the team's best interest at heart and put aside other things? I think those coaches that can do that are the ones that you're going to see consistently win. And that's some of the things that you look up and down the SEC roster. They're loaded with talent, but there's some coaches that I think we really feel good about having Barnes because there's coaches that haven't been able to consistently put the talent together to work for the greater good. And that's why I think Tennessee's in a position to have a really good season again.
Yeah, ton of excitement early on about Jacoby Gillespie. Replacing Zakai Ziegler is a tough task, but Gillespie seems like the right kind of fit to do that.
Yeah, and look, I mean, we got to call a spade what a spade is. You know, I mean, he's a Tennessee kid, so there's an extra level of that. There's also an extra level of pressure. Jacoby's a really good kid, but like you said, Josh, you're replacing Zakai, and we're instantly gonna, just like at times we get frustrated with Chaz, despite the shooting ability that he had, we'd compare him to Dalton, and all of a sudden we'd get frustrated with what Chaz was doing, and so some of that comparison could really hurt. But when you put in Jacoby with some of these other veterans that have come alongside a five-star freshman, you know, you got to be excited about the product that's going to be able to be put out on the court this year.
Yep, I agree. Mark, we appreciate you taking time. We'll give you the details again next Thursday. Go ahead and sign up at KnoxvilleSummit.com. That way you can attend live or catch the recording. CJ Watson, great Tennessee point guard himself, will be a part of it. Former MLB pitcher Lance Cormier, John O'Sullivan, a coach and author, Changing the Game Project, will be a part of it. KnoxvilleSummit.com. Sign up. It is free. Thanks for doing this, Mark. Thanks for continuing to give back to the community, and thanks for taking time to join us today.
Thanks, Mark.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me on. Have a great rest of your day.
You got it, Mark. Mark Pankratz of Axiom Wealth Management joining us here on the Stanley Fencing and Gates Hotline. You're a girl dad, Swain, and a young athlete parent at the same time.
I just had a conversation about that a couple days ago. Took my daughter to North Carolina A&T on Saturday, so that's why I was talking about the I-40 trip. Coming back on Saturday night, and my daughter's about to be a senior, plays hoops, and so you try to navigate that situation the best way you can, and this is coming at the right time for Knoxville. There's so many athletes in the state, in the city of Knoxville, state of Tennessee, city of Knoxville, that there's going to be so much awesome information, I think, that can be shared. Like, dude, after games, we had to put in a rule, 24-hour rule. Like, whatever happened, if it was bad, we'll talk about it in 24 hours if you want to.
Yeah. There are so many people that can relate in this conversation. And my kids are younger. My oldest is 7, so mine are 7, 5, and 3. So we're in the early stages of getting going in sports. They're going to have to overcome the athletic genes that I passed along, and I've apologized for that already. But I'm already struggling with those. So, at a young age, I'm more about encouragement, just trying different sports that they've played. But everybody, I think, struggles with that in some way of how to handle different circumstances in sports.
Yep, 100%. So, man, like you said, I'll piggyback off what you said. And thank you, Mark, for continuing to pour back into the Knoxville community and adding value, because this is definitely going to be value. Man, I've already registered. I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
Yep, KnoxvilleSummit.com. We'll come back, 865-656-9900 for you to be a part of the show. We appreciate you hanging out with us this afternoon. We'll talk more Tennessee and college football. We're with you until 3 o'clock every day. Our show is presented by Junk Be Gone right here on Josh and Swain.
of full pads, well, I won't say normally because there's a new normal, but like years ago, there was always like the Oklahoma drill, big physical drill where everyone's hitting and tackling in space. Oklahoma drill consisted of receivers going up against DBs, running backs versus linebackers, O-line, D-line, and then there was someone running the ball. And it was one-on-one, and the receivers had to block the DB in a 5-yard window, and the running back was given the ball, and receivers couldn't let the DB make the tackle. Running backs couldn't let the linebacker make the tackle. O-line couldn't let D-line make the tackle. Tight ends couldn't let the linebackers make the tackle as well. And you would have pancakes, and when that would happen, the entire offense would get hype and rally around the offensive players. And when you had the defensive player that manhandled the guy blocking him, the defense would crowd and rally around his guy. It was a very intense drill. It was a physical drill. It was a drill about willpower. It was one of my favorite drills because you wasn't gonna pancake me. You wasn't gonna pancake me. So we'll have to ask Jay Wade about that. We'll have him on next week. We'll have to ask him about that.
Okay.
For the end of this week, next week, but soon.
Yeah, because these are your teammates. But hey, the competition, the intensity, that's what it's about this time of year. Building that out.
Man, you're trying to win the rep. That's what it's about. It's about winning the rep. It's about having pride, competing, showing toughness. That's what it's about, man. So that's what I do remember about the first day of full pads. But I don't know if they're doing that today. But there has to be a drill that's tradition that you do on the first day of full pads, man. That's football. You got to have that traditional physical drill on the first day of full pads.
Yeah, because the message is we're taking it up a notch now, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know about us because when you're trying to take care of guys, you don't want guys to get hurt. But at the same time, last time I checked, football is a physical contact sport.
Yeah, if you want to talk about tradition, that's a traditional conversation. How do you manage this month while also making sure you get the amount of physical reps that are needed out there? Often when you see a team with tackling issues, somebody will ask, well, how much were they doing in practice? What were they doing in August? How active were they there? Is that carrying over to the regular season games?
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. So they've been physical the moment they put on shoulder pads. Mm-hmm. And I mean, how much are you really trying to take your own guys to the ground anyways when you have a scrimmage coming up on Saturday? But still have to get good reps in. Like you need to know, and we talked about William Satterwhite yesterday. Like, you can't just wait to Saturday to make sure William Satterwhite understands how to snap the football consistently to the quarterback while having someone bail down on him across from him at the defensive tackle position. So it's different snapping when you're wearing shorts versus when you're wearing football pants with pads in them. So this is good reps for him.
865-656-9900 is how you can be a part of the show. So Tennessee continues practice, 24 days to go until the start of the season. And Saturday, the first scrimmage of the fall. They're always anticipated with the quarterback battle. There will be a little more anticipation, I think, in terms of trying to hear what happened behind the scenes after Saturday, because it'll be closed to the media at least. But with Aguilar versus Merklinger, still think McIntyre's probably third right now if we were to handicap the race. But what happens in that quarterback battle will be highly anticipated by fans Saturday or after Saturday.
Merklinger is kind of hiding in the weeds. I mean, not Merklinger, but McIntyre's hiding in the weeds. you just never know what might happen. A man 6'5", NFL frame, NFL arm. He just laying in the weeds, just waiting on his opportunity. If you're Merklinger and Aguilar, you better not give it to him. You better stay healthy. You better play well.
Yeah, it still feels early, right? He's one reason I said you don't know throughout the season. Things could change over 12 games. It feels early with where he is physically and still how early he is in his development. Nobody questions McIntyre's talent. I'd say if you rank based on talent, he's number one. But he's also the least experienced, the youngest, and the least physically developed.
Yeah, well, the staff's already proven that they'll play young dudes in other positions. At one point, do you say, forget it, let's just throw them out there and see what we have? At that point, that means you've lost too many games, or you've had a couple of injuries with guys in front of McIntyre, or they haven't played well. Which 3 could be tied in with number 1.
Right. There's a youth movement or changing of the guard movement in college football at quarterback. I think 7 of the top 10 in the coaches poll are new starters this season. Now, some are older than others, like Gunnar Stockton at Georgia and Ty Simpson at Alabama. Those are older guys, but still new starters to those teams. But a lot of young guys. Bryce Underwood projected there at Michigan as a freshman.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of excited to see him play.
I am too.
I mean, it's like when people were looking at Tennessee, wondering what Nico's going to do with all the reports about what he made. I mean, what Underwood made is unbelievable. So, let's see Big Blue play. Let's see what the freshman phenom quarterback looks like.
Yeah, and if he's the guy, if he's the starter there at the start of the season, then week 2 we get to see Underwood at Oklahoma.
Man, he better be the starter week 1. All the money they paying him.
Well, you never know with injury, but because it's week 2. But at Oklahoma, I imagine he's there. I assume he is. That's a pretty good test early on and a big game for Oklahoma, but on the road in Norman against Brent Venables' defense for Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a fun football season, man. I just hope that with all the great matchups and what looks to be a great season of competition, that Tennessee fans can enjoy college football as a whole and not put all the weight on whether or not their team is successful. Meaning, like, if Tennessee's having a good season, of course Tennessee's fans are happy about the college football season. But if the season's not going according to plan, you can be like, oh, man, this season is terrible. Well, for Tennessee it might be, but for college football as a whole, there are great matchups all across the game. Starting week 0, week 1, every week out of conference. We got some good stuff coming up this year with the matchups in college football.
We are 17 days away from Iowa State, Kansas State, I believe in Dublin.
They got to stop doing that.
I don't get the overseas games.
Yeah, this ain't the NFL, man. Yeah, they got to stop doing that. I don't get that. Like, I would lose my mind if they announced, Tennessee is opening the season in Dublin. What? Josh, we wouldn't even have to do a show. We would just take phone calls the whole show.
Oh, yeah, the prep work on that one would be pretty straightforward.
Oh, man. We would do the show, but we would be listening.
Yep, Iowa, Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland. I'll watch the game, don't get me wrong there. But noon kickoff, ESPN will have the broadcast Saturday, August 23rd, week 0. There are 5 games that weekend. Idaho State against UNLV, Dan Mullen. Kansas against Fresno State, Western Kentucky, Sam Houston, and then Stanford playing out at Hawaii. But Iowa State, Kansas State, the headliner there. ESPN noon kick from Dublin, Ireland. We'll come back. We'll get back to Tennessee, 865-656-9900. Swain, something to think about with the Tennessee-Georgia game. The SEC opener the big SEC home game for Tennessee week 3. That when we come back right here on Josh and Swain. alongside Jason Swain at VFL, former Tennessee wide receiver. I'm Josh Ward. You can connect with us, call or text at 865-656-9900. We're live on the Sports Animal YouTube channel today as well. Swain, earlier today, I saw part of a conversation that Brett McMurphy of On3 was having, talking about his AP ballot that he turned in. The AP Top 25 will come out next week. He had Tennessee number 19, by the way, so one spot behind where the coaches poll had Tennessee on Monday. But he put Georgia number 1. So Brett McMurphy ranked Georgia number 1. He noted that Georgia right now projects to be favored in each individual game. That doesn't mean they're going to go 12-0. It doesn't even really mean they're projected to go 12-0 because they're not 100% chance they're going to win each game. But anyway, he went kind of game by game with some of the key games on the schedule for Georgia. And the first big game for Georgia is in Knoxville against Tennessee, week 3. And Brett noted that Georgia would be favored by about 4 to 5 points right now. And Swain, feel free to roll your eyes at me or whatever you want to do, or ask, what are you doing here? But my initial thought was, that's not a very big number. Tennessee is a 4 to 5 point underdog against Georgia at home with a crowd that's going to be, my guess is insane. Checker Neyland, all that will go into that SEC opener for Tennessee. Tennessee being a 4 to 5 point underdog means the odds makers are going to give Tennessee a fair shot, a very fair shot to win that game. They'll be an underdog, and that's fair, but a real shot to win it.
Yeah, I mean, when you said that number, I mean, I was kind of surprised that it was that low. I mean, but at the same time, Tennessee has been really, really good at home over the last couple of years. Second, Georgia's breaking in a first-time starting quarterback. I know he filled in for starting quarterback there in the SEC championship game versus Texas, but this is the first time that it's been his show. And I don't expect him to light the world on fire. And then there's more parity as well, too. So I'm surprised. I like it. And Tennessee just needs to go out there and play their best game. And the crowd is going to be right there behind them. We saw how the crowd was when Tennessee gave the crowd a reason to be in that game, an opening play a couple of years ago. So, yeah, man, that's a line I can get on board with right now.
Yeah, that's got to at least give you a little optimism. In this losing streak that is current against Georgia, Tennessee hasn't played Georgia for 4 quarters within single digits. So if the odds makers say, hey, 45 points, the difference going in right now, again, it's week 3, so the line could change between now and then. But as it projects preseason, that says to me it's as close as it's been, at least in several years between these two teams.
No, for sure. For sure. I mean, it doesn't feel like the gap is closing, but it's closing slowly, where we have seen Tennessee close the gap with Alabama, beating them twice. Now, the talent acquisition hasn't necessarily been even, and Alabama's still better than us at that. But we've beaten them 2 out of the last 4 years, the last 2 times we played them at home. So you've closed the gap there. You've beaten Florida a couple times. Now it's about closing that gap against Georgia and actually winning the game, not just making the games closer year by year.
Yeah, I think the formula in that one's going to be pretty straightforward. There will be some extras you can throw in, but Tennessee's defensive line has got to control things up front. Georgia's offensive line it's kind of redone in parts, especially on the interior. So if Tennessee can be better up front on the defensive line, which would probably help slow down their rushing attack. I like Nate Frazier. I think he's really talented, second-year guy. And then they brought in a transfer from Illinois. Remember that kind of came up in some transfer tampering conversations during the offseason. So Georgia looked at last year's rushing attack and said, we've got to be better. But also that's in trying to help Gunnar Stockton. So if Tennessee's D-line can win up front and slow down their rushing attack and put pressure on Gunnar Stockton again against that crowd that will be out there, that's where you start the conversation for Tennessee.
Yeah. And we got to win up front. Those games are won in the trenches. And you go down on Georgia in 2004, you play against All-American David Pollard, and he does nothing in that game. And the reason why he wasn't able to affect that game is because you had an unbelievable performance by your JUCO tackle Albert Twina, and it gave the quarterback time to deliver the football down the football field and make plays and keep that crowd out of the game. And so it's always been about the trenches. 2003, we go in about to score a touchdown before the half. We fumble. They return it 90-something yards, and the game is over from there. It's always been about the trenches. It always will be.
So just of note, that popped up on my radar when I heard Brett McMurphy say that earlier today from On 3. Tennessee would be projected as only about a 4 to 5 point underdog right now against the Georgia Bulldogs. Something to think about.
Shout out to Chris Brown, who's a freshman against Georgia, and he made his first start against Georgia, balled out, and then the last time Chris Brown was in Georgia in 2006, there's photographic evidence that he and some teammates clipped the hedges and took it home as a souvenir.
Some teammates did?
Yeah, some of his teammates.
Any names that you know of?
Jonathan Wade and Hefney. They was in that photo. Aaron Sears was in that photo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in that photo?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
Oh, I remember the game. I got hurt. I didn't finish the game, so I don't know if I was in that photo. I don't even know if I was able to walk out to the midfield and take that photo.
Man, putting up 51 in Athens, by the way, that's a big deal.
Now, I don't know if Chris cut the hedges, but he was in the photo.
Well, yeah, where do you get the scissors?
The trainers on the sideline.
What's that?
The trainers on the sideline. You know, they cut your tape off.
Cut the tape?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It happened in 2004 too, so. But I'm glad we got rid of all those shrubs and stuff around our sideline, even though they were good to hide if you had to use the bathroom.
Right. Now what do you just? Well, you got different ways. You can just hold up a big towel if you need to as well.
No, there's a way.
Yeah,
there's a way.
We'll continue the conversation. 865-656-9900. We're getting closer. 24 days from Tennessee against Syracuse in Atlanta. 865-656-9900 to be a part of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us as we continue on Josh and Swain. This is Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. Jason Swain's here, VFL, former Tennessee wide receiver. Nathan texted in Swain and said, being on the field is Pavia activity.
Not when it's your own.
Yeah, and it's there are different needs. This was more, this was Pavia when he was at New Mexico State on his rivals, I believe, practice field.
No.
Or indoor facility.
Well, actually, there was a restroom right behind the Tennessee bench when the bench was on the other side. So technically, we didn't do it in the bushes, but Meacham used to have some nervousness before the game, and he would kind of earl before the game, but he would do it over there in the bushes.
Okay.
That's
like before every game, right?
Yeah, he would throw it before every game. It was nervousness. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That happens. That's probably more common than most people would think.
Yeah, it was different for sure. But I mean, butterflies are good, man. It's a good thing to have a little bit of nervousness before a game. That means it means something to you.
Sheena in the YouTube chat said Georgia will lose to Tennessee this year.
I love it.
Calling it right now.
I need that.
Look, Miles Kitson already said 7-0. That would include a win against Georgia.
Man, it's great when your leader believes that.
Josh and Swain provided a roadmap to 11-1. I think that included a home upset of Georgia along the way.
Yeah, the show did. Yep. I was a great listener that day.
You're a great teammate.
Yep. That's what I was thinking. He's wrong word.
There was this question. Swain, which Tennessee quarterback the last 20 years would do best in Josh Heupel's offense? Do you remove Hendon from the conversation because we already saw him do it at a level that would be difficult for anybody to match? Or maybe the 20 years leading up to Josh Heupel?
I mean, it would have been cool to see Bray, Riley Ferguson. Think about how talented Riley Ferguson was, but just left and went somewhere else and matured and became a good quarterback over there at Memphis.
I mean, I would think the answer is Dobbs, but tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was trying not to go obvious first.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of some other guys that didn't come back to Dobbs. But, yeah, Dobbs, obviously. I mean, his intelligence, his ability to run, and the opportunity to throw in some pretty wide open windows, I think would have been really fun for Dobbs.
I'd like to see the Ainge Schaefer combo in the offense. How about that?
No quarterback combo in the offense. But yeah, seeing either one of those guys in this offense would have been something to see, but not a combo.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Typical media guy. I've got to create controversy in a hypothetical situation here, don't I?
I gotta tone that down, man. I gotta tone it down. Nobody wants to see. Well, I don't want to see 2 quarterback system in this offense.
Yeah,
trying to go fast.
And he says Tony Robinson. Tony'd be great. He does
20 years,
20
years.
Because I think all time, sure, Tony, Heath Schuler in today's game, and then Heath Schuler in this offense would be incredible with his athletic ability and how talented he was overall.
So 40 years, huh?
Yeah, 35-ish.
Okay. No, hey, all those guys would do well in a quarterback-friendly system. I mean, you really can go back and go, hey, how about all of them? I want to see all of them in this system.
You sure about all of them?
Am I sure about all of them?
Yeah.
Well,
no, I've wondered this. I know it's been brought up. I'm sure he would have been better, especially with consistent coaching. But Jarrett Garantano, would he have been as good as Hendon Hooker? No. He would have been better than he was if he was coached by Josh Heupel, especially over multiple years.
Yeah, he would have been better.
Yeah. without question.
Yeah, better.
We will come back. We have another hour to go. 865-656-9900. Always love the fun hypotheticals. We'll talk Tennessee back on the practice field earlier today. Full pads appeared earlier today as Tennessee gets ready for a big scrimmage this Saturday and a season opener in 24 days. We come back with 1 hour to go on Josh and Swain. Welcome into hour number 3 of Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. Our show is presented by Junk Beyond, East Tennessee's junk removal specialist, online at junkbeyond.biz. We have talked some Tennessee and SEC football, some choice words Diego Pavia had for Tennessee that came out through the Any Given Saturday Netflix documentary of the SEC season last year, which has created more buzz around Tennessee wanting to, Swain, I would say, stomp on Vandy at the end of the season after the comments he made to Bussin' with the Boys earlier in the summer, saying that after this year, Vandy's going to run the state of Tennessee. And then they hear the comments that he made. Clark Lee also spoke strongly. Now he's a coach trying to get his team fired up, said, I want to bleeping beat Tennessee, and I need everyone to be on the same page. We're not leaving that stadium Saturday without a win. Obviously, they left without a win. They left with a blowout loss, but that was trying to get his team ready to go. The Pavia comments, we can beat Tennessee literally any given Saturday. They think they're going to destroy us. Blank every single one of them dudes. We're going to win this game at all costs. So some good buzz for any given Saturday and some more attention on Tennessee Vandy later this season.
Tennessee did destroy Vanderbilt.
That is true. Yep.
By multiple scores. After being up 14. Actually having a chance to be up 14-0, but no, they were up 14-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were up 14-0.
Returning then the score after Tennessee's fumble.
Yeah, so they were up 14-0 and still lost by 2 scores. 2 scores. Oh man. Hilarious. I hope Diego continues to talk, man. I think it's great. And we are counting down the start of the season. So I would never look forward to playing Vanderbilt because that would mean the season is over.
Right.
Boy, that's going to be a fun
We don't wish away the college football season around here.
Yeah, we want to enjoy each game, enjoy each moment. We want the season to go by slow. So I'm not saying I can't wait for the Vanderbilt game because who says that unless it's baseball? But it's going to be fun.
Did you see Diego Pavia hanging out with Kid Rock the other night, by the way, there in Nashville? Posted some photos on his Instagram account, threw up some birds. It's odd, to be honest, but that's Vanderbilt's quarterback. He's a local celeb now, more regional and national, I think, with some of the off-season attention.
That's supposed to make Diego cool?
I don't know.
You know it's 2025, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why you hanging out with Morgan Wallen? Because you know why? Morgan Wallen hangs out with winners.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Justin says there's no way Pavia is healthy by the time they make it to Knoxville this season. There's a chance.
I hope he is.
Yeah, he got beat up some last year.
I hope he is, man. I hope he's 100% healthy, 110%.
Swain at the
8 completions and 10 drives, by the way.
8 completions and 10 drives is nearly 1 per.
Nearly.
Swain, at the cover of ESPN.com's college football page, you can find the SEC football preview, which includes power rankings for the league, some of their must-see games and top players. And with the power rankings, they have a college football outlook.
Okay.
And a look toward the playoff and playoff hopes.
Okay.
There are 3 teams in the should-be-in category: Texas, Georgia, and Alabama. There are 3 teams in the running category: LSU, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. And then 5 SEC teams in the long shots category. This is in no particular order as far as I can tell: Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, and Florida.
Okay, fair. I mean, I think LSU should be, and that should be in too.
LSU should feel slighted that it's not in the should be in category because of what the roster is, the expectations that always exist with that program. So I lean to your side there. I kind of look at it as the top 4 teams: Texas, Georgia, Bama, LSU going in.
Well, I mean, if you want to be right, you should lean.
With Swain, yeah.
You should show the lean over here to my side.
Oh, we had another marketing pitch earlier in the show. Swain's Frames. You could sell glasses. Swain's Frames.
Or picture frames.
Picture frames, window frames. Maybe it could be all-encompassing.
Yeah.
Here's what was
beds.
written about Tennessee. Here's what was written about Tennessee. Tennessee will be looking for a return to the playoff. Nico is out at quarterback, and Joey Aguilar comes in after spending the spring at UCLA. The Vols will again need Tim Banks' defense to carry the load.
Why didn't they say anything about the quarterback competition?
Yeah, Merklinger's name didn't get brought up.
It rarely gets brought up, Josh. Like, we've been through a number of quarterback competitions heading into the season. When you are looking at previews with the team, more times than not, it's mentioned that there's a quarterback competition. It's not mentioned like that, man, like it used to be. It's just not. And it makes you wonder why.
When we had Tony Barnhart on, Mr. College Football, a few weeks ago, he talked about, one, he was very complimentary of Josh Heupel and what he's done with the program, called him one of the best offensive coaches we've seen in this generation, kind of paraphrasing the quote. And he said, I think he'll do well with Joey Aguilar at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And if he does well, then Tennessee can have a good season again.
Did he mention anything about the quarterback competition?
He didn't bring it up.
Just saying, man.
In ESPN's must-see games, they have 10 games for the season. They begin the conversation with the opening weekend: Texas at Ohio State, LSU at Clemson. Those are definitely must-see games in the opening weekend. Right after that, Georgia at Tennessee, a game we talked about last hour. Riding the Bulldogs and Volunteers meet in September for the first time since 2018. Good. I like my Georgia-Tennessee games early when they can spark the largest possible existential crises. Whoever loses that game, if Tennessee loses at home, it's a competitive game. That could actually turn into a positive. If Tennessee springs the upset, Georgia fans will probably freak out.
Oh, yeah, they'll lose it. They'll lose it. I mean, like, these are the same creatures that will decide to get on all fours and bark like a dog when they're happy and excited and looking forward to something. Imagine how they're going to act when they're disappointed and upset. Might need extra security.
A few other notes from ESPN's SEC preview. They posted at the front of the page today. 3 freshmen to watch: Dallas Wilson, a wide receiver at Florida; DJ Pickett, a cornerback at LSU; and David Sanders Jr., an offensive tackle at Tennessee.
Dang right.
And then in a straight 1 through 16 ranking, Tennessee comes in at number 7, right behind Ole Miss, just ahead of Oklahoma and Florida. South Carolina at number 10. So a good amount of Tennessee mentions there, and
that's
probably a higher ranking for Tennessee than I've seen in most places over the last couple of months compared to other SEC teams. That's from ESPN.com.
Yeah, I mean, I consider that it's some Tennessee love right there. I mean, Tennessee has been, picked 10th and 11th in that range. And for ESPN to come in and have us at 7, man, I don't know. Goes against all that ESPN hates Tennessee narrative.
Maybe it's a smokescreen.
Maybe they're trying to set us up so we can fall harder.
Probably
Make
so.
us
I'm
believe.
sure that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Steven suggests Swain's Swines could be a pig farmer.
Or it could be, I can sell bicycles. But that's Swins. Never mind. Yeah, I can sell bacon. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I didn't know I could do this with my name.
A lot of opportunities. A lot of potential here. One other note, Brian is correct. Correct. Kid Rock's Devil Without a Cause was very cool in 1999. Ball with the Ball was a big hit.
Yeah. What's next? Diego's gonna get on AOL and IM people.
AIM. He's got his away message up.
Yeah, is that what he's gonna do? What's next? He gonna hang out with Soldier Boy?
Tell him.
It's 25, man. Just saying.
Austin asked this, and we'll close out the segment. Swain, this is for you. Is a win over Georgia this season rush the field worthy?
No. It is not. We are past that, ladies and gentlemen. We did it in 22. It was understandable. It was cool. Shouldn't have done it in 24, but we did it anyways. Okay, cool. We are done. You're either back or you're not. You're either one of the elites or you're not. You went to the college football, for goodness sake. Act like it.
Plus, there's that $500,000 fine. Fans may not be thinking about that. I'm sure that Danny White would.
No, for sure. But no, man. Like, there's no reason to be storming the field for any more wins at home. Come on, man. Stop playing with me, Josh. Do you see Ohio State? You see Texas? You see Georgia? You see all the teams that have won championships over the last couple of years? You see them storming the field when they beat a team?
Not too much recently that I've seen, yeah.
Thank you. My case is made.
Our friend Frank, the Georgia Bulldog fan, texted in, Josh and Swain, we will not lose to Tennessee.
Well, that sounds more convincing than Diego Pavia.
Jordan says, Swain is 100% right. We are above rushing the field. Our fans need to start acting like it. Yeah. And then TW says, Swain's chains for all your bling needs.
Oh, yeah, man. I can wear a trench coat with all the chains inside of it, and I can sell it to you right there on the street. Like I'm selling tickets.
Shop from Swain.
Yeah. I like the idea.
All right, we continue to brainstorm here on the show. We continue to invite you to join us. You can call or text in at 865-656-9900. Our show is presented by Dunk Begon. Thank you for hanging out with us as we have 45 minutes to go on Josh and Swain. Back on Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us at Josh and Swain on social media. Swain's Lanes. Let's go bowling, says
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah, I like that.
How's your bowling game?
I bet if I practice for a couple days, I think it'd be pretty average.
I could see you being pretty good. You're a good shooter in basketball. That's lining things up.
Yeah. The rotation on the bowling ball is a little bit different than the rotation on the basketball. You got to have that spin.
Yeah, that's for sure. Frank followed up, by the way. Hey, here we go again, Swain. I'll make a deal with you, Josh and Swain. If Tennessee beats Georgia, I will buy both of y'all a steak dinner.
Oh, man.
If Georgia wins, you don't owe me anything. That's how much confidence I have in Georgia not losing to Tennessee. Look, if we don't have to buy a steak dinner, I guess I accept the deal. That's just an opportunity for a free steak.
I mean, are we going to get this steak dinner before 2027?
Yeah, it's a fair question. You had your bet, which was eventually paid off with our good buddy Buckeye Terry.
Yeah, I still got the card, man. I haven't even been yet.
Well, he's probably waiting for you to call him and invite him to join you.
Well, I wouldn't do that if I was him.
Okay. Okay, and that message is loud and clear there, Buckeye Terry. Hope you're doing well. We miss hearing from you. Hope to hear from you again soon.
Heck yeah, man.
We'll hear from him, I'm sure, before week 1. Ohio State against Texas. Lee Corso's final game, 1 versus 2. Reigning national champs. That's going to be a big one. Arch Manning's debut as the guy as the starter for Texas.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I say that this college football season is going to be fun. The matchups that we're going to see, man, we're not waiting any time to get a real good one to start the season between Oklahoma State, back up, Ohio State, and Texas. That might be the preview of the national championship. They may play the first and last game of the season against each other.
They could. Yep, both are projected as playoff teams. Julian Sayin, the starter there at Ohio State, former Alabama signee, got out after Nick Saban announced his retirement and transferred to Ohio State, was a highly touted quarterback in last year's class, so he'll be a second-year player taking over the reins, replacing Will Howard. Swain's gains, let's get swole or Swain swims. Jason Swain offering swimming lessons.
Oh, boy. This has a lot of potential.
Yep. The people are putting the plans together for you, Swain.
I appreciate that, man. Takes the village.
Yep. God, imagine what you could have done in the NIL era.
Who needs NFL? No, thank you. I'm retiring from football. I've got it made here in the NIL space at Tennessee.
I would have liked to have seen in 06 you call Coach Fulmer or Coach Cutcliffe, maybe Trooper, and say, hey, I'm going to be a few minutes late to practice. Swim lessons went a little long today. You know, Swain swims. We went a little long, so I'm going to be late to practice, but I'll be out there.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine me saying that. I can imagine what would be said to me.
Hey, TW asked this. Didn't Corso start his run donning the Buckeye head, but he goes out donning it as well? I believe that is correct, that his first pick was Ohio State. And we talked about this recently.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you brought it up. I think you'll be right. I think he'll pick Ohio State at home as a way to finish things how he started in such an incredible way.
I think it's the reason why they picked that game instead of letting him do the season and doing it at the end of the season. Go ahead and pick that game. Pick Ohio State. That's where it started, and then that could be where it ended.
Yeah, it's a perfect spot, really.
Yeah, I mean, they won national championship. Like, no one's going to bat an eye if he picks Ohio State. They're playing at home. It makes total sense. I got some advice for the Texas players. When you come out, keep your shirts on. The intimidation stuff, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Just some advice.
Yeah, that's one Tennessee probably like to get back if we're being truthful.
I just remember my reaction when I saw it. I was like, I saw the Ohio State players. They they were bundled up. Like their
Yeah.
own players were bundled up, and then we came out. We had some of our guys with our shirts off, and I was like, "Oh man, we better win. We we better win." And then like I was wondering, I was like, "How long can they last? With the shirts off. They got to put these things back on." And yeah, it didn't work out too great for us. But yeah, just some advice for Texas. Just keep your shirts on.
We all have moments in life where we try too hard. We all do.
We all do, for sure.
Try too hard category.
You try too hard, and it winds up backfiring. That happens. You learn from it.
Yep. So no, I don't think I mean, maybe I don't. It'll be hot, probably.
Yeah, but whoa. There's Texas hot, and then there's everywhere else hot.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll feel cool in Columbus compared to being down in Texas all summer. You're right.
Exactly, dude. I used to work events, combines, and stuff like that, and we were in Dallas, Texas. We had kids cleats that were melting on turf field because it was like almost 100 degrees, and the turf adds like 20 degrees to it. We had kids cleats that was melting on the turf. It was so hot. There's Texas hot. And then there's everywhere else.
It's different.
Yeah. So they'll be prepared for the heat in Columbus. But they might take their shirt off. They might say, "Man, this feels great. This feels great."
Tyler says, "I'm going to be emotional that day. Corso's final day. I grew up watching Corso every Saturday morning." Yeah, there'll be a lot of emotional people, a lot of emotional fans thinking about growing up or whatever will come to mind on that day.
I mean, it makes you think about Dick Vitale and basketball. I mean, those two figures that, coached and brought so much experience and expertise to their job, and the excitement and the passion. I mean, it was undeniable. And to be featured on a segment there on College Game Day or be talked about with Dick Vitale, as a player, man, it means so much. And so, I mean, I think about those guys. Corso was walking away from it, and Dick Vitale had his health issues, and there's less time that he's going to be covering basketball moving forward. So, I mean, it just makes you really appreciate the contributions that each guy brought to us, football and basketball.
Yep, very much so. Lee Corso's final ESPN College Game Day will be week 1 at Ohio State. Ohio State hosting Texas. That will be a big Saturday. Big Saturday for everybody with the opening weekend, with the added emotion of Lee Corso's final College Game Day broadcast. We'll continue 865-656-9900. Swain, a few more to close out the segment. We have an attaboy to hand out in our next segment. See what you think of these ideas. Steve suggests Swain's manes, specialized wigs made from animal manes. Derek says Swain's trains, model trains for all ages, or you could go with David's idea, Swain's Sky Trains, your personal jet service.
Okay, I like that. That sounds like that. That sounds like I can retire. I like that.
He's the most marketable man in radio. He is Jason Swain, VFL, former Tennessee wide receiver, former U.S. Army All-American, wore the number 1 with the University of Tennessee. We have half an hour to go on today's show. An attaboy coming up next right here on Josh and Swain. This is Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us. Jason Swain is a former Tennessee wide receiver of VFL. How about a fellow former Tennessee wide receiver of VFL, Dante Thornton, continuing to get a ton of buzz there with Raiders camp, Swain?
Man, talking about starting job for our guy Dante Thornton. I'm so happy for him. So happy for him. I mean, the Vanderbilt game, he gets banged up. I felt so bad for him because he had made a big play. Went through so much adversity his first year here, even before he was here, being from that Baltimore area where they're known more for basketball than football. Crisscrosses the country, goes to Oregon, doesn't work out that far away from home, and then he comes all the way to Knoxville, looking to play into a system that was going to get him to where he needed to be. And didn't happen his first year, had injuries, and then boom, is Tennessee's best receiver, and now as a rookie is in line to start. So man, I'm so happy for him. He's humble. He deserves it. 6'5", runs 4 threes, and not many guys can say that. Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson. Only the few can say that. So, man, I'm happy for him. Made some big plays for us. Bama game, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt.
There it is.
It's been a while.
Yeah, good to break that out. We've had too much Vanderbilt talk on the show today without Vanderbilt voice.
Yeah, I think the alum's gonna tell Diego to kind of chill out.
I don't know.
He acting like he eats mustard on his hot dog instead of Dijon mustard, Grey Poupon. He's kind of straying away from how they do things at Vanderbilt. Pinkies up.
He is a little different from what you typically think with Vanderbilt. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, we don't drink beer here at Vanderbilt. We drink wine. Diego's acting like he drink nothing but Natty Lights in the parking lot of a Walmart. Oh, get some class, Diego. Get some class, man.
There's no telling when Diego's out on the town in Nashville.
Him and Kid Rock, man, tearing it up.
Yeah, let's pull this up one more time before we hand out today's Attaboy. We have a great story for you with today's Attaboy that we're going to hand out. Virginia Tech Week 2, then South Carolina. Both of those games are on the road, by the way. And then after that, Alabama on the road October 4th. They don't have a home game against a power conference opponent until October 18th. And Swain, that one's against LSU. Then home for Missouri, then at Texas, home for Auburn. That'll be a 4th straight SEC game. Then off week, home for Kentucky, and then Knoxville against Tennessee. So games at Va-Tech, at South Carolina, at Bama, at Texas, at Tennessee.
Hey, man, sounds like back-to-back Birmingham Bowl championships to me.
If they get back to the Birmingham Bowl, kudos to them with that schedule coming up.
They're going to be iced out, man. They won't know what to do with all that bling.
Well, if they need to get anything repaired, they can stop by Swain's Chains. All the bling you need.
That's right.
Jason Swain's here. I'm Josh Ward. Every day presented by Junk Be Gone. Right now, we hand out today's Attaboy.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Always remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy.
So we hand out Attaboys and Attagirls every day thanks to Native Design, your local custom pool and hardscape specialist. Their website is nativetn.com. And Swain, for today's story, we're going to hand out Attaboys and Attagirls both. We head up to Hudson, Wisconsin. There is a popular spot you can stop in for a nice meal at the Urban Olive and Vine. And the spot has been owned and operated by Chad and Carol Trainer for quite some time. And they have taken pride in the teenagers that work for them between the ages of 14 and 18. And the opportunity they give for them to learn and grow and prepare for when the teenagers that work for them between the ages of 14 and 18, and the opportunity they give for them to learn and grow and prepare staff made up of mostly teenagers. They carried all the weight. They made sure everything was taken care of before open, prep, obviously while the restaurant was open, and then after things were closed down and getting ready for the next day. Sadly, Carol passed away. She passed away back in May at the age of 58. And Chad closed the restaurant so the staff could attend her funeral. Then together they reopened. And Chad said, quote, "Without them, the restaurant would not exist. These kids became adults and ran our business and took care of me." So, often we talk about kids these days, and we've been saying that every generation, I'm sure. Here's an example of they're teenagers, they're kids. And he said they took care of me and they took care of the restaurant. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, he says he loves them like they're his own kids, and man, that's a strong story right there. Wow.
So to everybody involved there, great story at the Urban Olive and Vine in Hudson, Wisconsin. We hand out attaboys and attagirls every day. People are doing good things, we promise, and we tell you about it every day thanks to Native Design. For 20 years, Native Design has transformed outdoor spaces into breathtaking retreats where families gather, friends connect, and memories are made. Native Design turns ordinary yards into exceptional escapes. See what they can do for you and your outdoor space. Call Native Design at 865-310-3256 or visit the website nativetn.com. Native Design, your local custom pool and hardscape specialists. We will come back with one segment to go. We'll wrap up today's conversation. Thank you for being with us. One segment to go right here on Josh and Swain. Swain, tomorrow will be 23 days away from Tennessee kicking off the season. That Corey Larkins days?
23. Corey Larkins.
Dave?
One of the funniest mans in tennis, funniest guys, Tennessee football history.
Yeah, Corey Larkins actually could have capitalized in the NIL era. He had a fun personality.
Man, he was a joy. And, of course, he was from Alabama, who came to Tennessee. Opelika, Alabama, to be exact. Shout out to Opelika, Alabama. Right next to Auburn. But he decided to be a Vol. Decided to make Knoxville his home.
So we are getting closer day by day, coming up on 21 hours to go until the next Josh and Swain. Every day, 12 until 3. You can always go back and listen wherever you get your podcast. Search Josh and Swain. We're on demand anywhere you get podcasts. Plus, you can go back and check out the show on our Sports Animal YouTube channel today. We appreciate the support from Beatty Chevrolet there, and we appreciate you hanging out with us. Appreciate the suggestions. Brad sent in a few in the text box, Swain, that I really don't think I can share on air, but he's getting creative.
The last one you can.
I don't know about that one.
Gotcha.
I like it.
Gotcha.
I like it.
You're probably right.
Let's see. We had a good one here. Where I lost it. Oh, Jason singing Swain's refrains. Forrest earlier thought that ESPN was just doling out rat poison with the positivity about Tennessee and their SEC preview.
Oh, that's what it is. When it's positive, it's rat poison, and that's on purpose. And when it's negative, they hate us. Got to keep that edge, man. You got to keep that edge about you.
Yep, awareness.
Yeah.
Situational awareness.
I like it.
Hey, also thanks to Mark Pankratz. He joined us at the start of the 1 o'clock hour, and encourage you to go back and listen to the conversation. But also you can sign up at KnoxvilleSummit.com. They've done events the last couple of years, I think during the springtime, that have been a big hit. Well, this one's free. It's a free webinar next Thursday, so you can tune in live. But if you sign up at KnoxvilleSummit.com and you can't be there live, they'll email you the recording afterward. But it's going to be about parents with kids playing sports, Swain, and the challenges that come with that. C.J. Watson's going to be a part of it, who was a great Tennessee point guard. Spent a decade in the NBA. Lance Cormier, MLB pitcher, will be a part of it. So KnoxvilleSummit.com, that will be useful for a lot of people out there, parents trying to navigate their kids in sports.
Yep, 100%. It was good, man. I look forward to being part of it and going back and watching it again, being part of it again. I'm glad that not only doing it, but allowing people that missed it the opportunity to see it as well. And there's no strings attached. It's just trying to provide value to the community, because there's so many parents out here that are dealing with their kids playing, and man, you have kids being told that they have to specialize and have to give up everything else to get their spot and have an opportunity to play at the next level. And how do you navigate that? So that's going to be some good information available.
Yep, KnoxvilleSummit.com. What else? Braden Gall. Now, he said this is on paper, and as he said, and we all know, games aren't played on paper, but he said on paper you can make a case the best three teams are Texas, Clemson, and Penn State. I saw Zach Herbstreit, who was the son of Kirk, now working with On3. He put out his playoff prediction, including his national title pick, and he picked Penn State.
Well, he picking up where Dad left off, man. The Ohio State fans don't like Kirk anymore, and now they're not going to like his son anymore.
I thought that was like that, man. That's quite a debut.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
It's quite a debut. The SEC can't let that happen, right?
No, the SEC got to win one.
Ohio State, then Penn State. You can't let the Big Ten get three straight with three different teams.
No, you can't let that happen. I mean, I guess I would say it's probably the best case scenario if Clemson wins it, right?
As far as a non-SEC team winning?
Yeah, you don't want an SEC team to win, because why would you root for another team that you recruit against and play against to win it?
Gotcha.
And then you don't want the Big Ten to win a third one.
Yeah, you don't want Miami to get one, and Miami all of a sudden to actually be back.
Yeah, you don't want that either. So, of course, you want Tennessee to win if you're a Tennessee fan, but I see that happening.
Yeah, Tennessee's probably not winning the national
Yeah,
title.
I don't see that happening. So
If
like
that happens, who do you want to win it? That's a good question.
yeah. So I guess it'll be Clemson, man.
Did you say USC? Well, that's still Big Ten.
That ain't gonna happen.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Give Dabo his third. I don't think a lot of people would agree with that.
What you mean?
A lot of people don't like Clemson.
Okay, you got to pick the lesser of the other two evils. Do you really want to hear the Big Ten another year? Do you really want to see another team from the SEC win a championship? You want Texas to win it? Really?
Probably not.
Okay. So the least terrible option out of those three is Clemson winning it. Or fourth option is Miami winning. You don't want them to win it either.
No. And who else? I could offer up Arizona State, and you could just
Josh, we're being serious here.
We're trying to have a serious conversation to close out the show, and here I offer up the Sun Devils. SMU? No.
Josh, stop.
Texas Tech? They're spending all that money.
They've been spending money. They went 8-4 last year.
Yep.
Or
That'll probably do it, wouldn't you say?
It's probably time to take a 21-hour break, Josh.
We'll take a 21-hour break, and we will be back at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Joel Silverberg producing every day. Thank you very much. Thank you for hanging out with us on today's show, and we'll be one day closer. We'll have more Tennessee, SEC, and college football to talk about tomorrow at noon here on Josh and Swain.